some of the things we avoid turn out to be the very things we need. So making choices only on what is or is not pleasing can distract us as much as Mary was distracted by the things she had to do. Which brings us to the other side of the scale. If the pleasure model's on this side, the other side is the performance model. Doing exactly what is expected of us, either what is expected by ourselves or by other people. And again, sometimes doing what is expected is exactly what is needful. Sometimes, but not always. And if we always make choices in our lives based on what is expected, we may find ourselves distracted from what is needful. Well, I was going to give you an example of this from my own life. There were too many to pick from because I'm pretty much a high-performance-oriented person. And some of the things that I look back on that I could share with you, I decided I didn't want to. Because I can look back and I can think of many times in my life when I have not done what was needful because there were so many other things I just was convinced I had to do. So I'm going to borrow an example from Earl Bombay. It was a piece she wrote as she neared the end of her life, and most of you probably have heard it before. But it's a good reminder for us. It's a good reminder for those of us who sometimes do let ourselves get driven by a performance model where we forget to ask what is really needful and simply go about doing what's expected. It begins like this. If I had my life to live over, I would have talked less and listened more. I would have invited friends over to dinner even if the carpet was stained and the sofa faded. I would have eaten the popcorn in the good living room and worried much less about the dirt when someone wanted to light a fire in the fireplace. I would have taken the time to listen to my grandfather rambling about his youth. I would never have insisted the car windows be rolled up on a summer day because my hair had just been teased and sprayed. I would have burned the pink candle sculpted like a rose before it melted in storage. I would have sat on the lawn with my children and not worried about grass stains. I would have cried and laughed less while watching television and more while watching life. I would have gone to bed when I was sick instead of pretending the earth would go into a holding pattern if I weren't there for the day. I would never have bought anything just because it was practical, wouldn't show soil, or was guaranteed to last a lifetime. Instead of wishing away 9 months of pregnancy, I'd have cherished every moment, realizing that the wonderment growing inside me was the only chance in life to assist God in a miracle. When my kids kissed me impetuously, I would never have said later, "Now go get washed up for dinner." There would have been more "I love yous" and more "I'm sorry's." But mostly, given another shot at life, I would seize every minute, look at it, and really see it, and never give it back. In effect, this is what Jesus was saying to Martha. Don't be distracted by things that are not needful. Seize every moment, look at it, and really see it, and never give it back. Because it is in looking at and seeing what the moment really has to offer that we begin to discern what is truly needful. And when we commit ourselves, our time, and our choices to what is needful, we need never worry about where it falls on the scale between doing and being. Because whichever way it falls, it will simply be the choice we needed to make at that particular point in time, and we need never give it back. For in the end, the way of doing what is needful is the way that leads to fullness of life, the fullness which has been promised to us all. It leads both to the fullness we long for ourselves, and it moves us to contribute as is needful to the fullness that belongs to others. May we come to understand that our participation in church, in prayer, in study, and fellowship are not so much there as religious obligations to be fulfilled, but instead are there for us because they are needful to ground us and to equip us for living the way that Jesus showed. Amen.